and welcome back to English for You. I'm Erin.
And I'm Mike.
And Mike, now that we have talked about urban beekeeping,
yes,
would you become an urban beekeeper?
Yes.
Me too.
I think that would be great. If I had somewhere nice to do it, I hear you can do it in the city. That would be great. And also, I would probably want to take some lessons or get someone with some experience to teach me.
Don't just start on your own.
Yeah, it's not the kind of thing I would feel comfortable or happy doing after just reading a book or watching some YouTube videos. But if I knew an experienced beekeeper, I think that would be great. It would be great fun. And plus, you'd get lots of free honey.
Which is expensive.
And who wouldn't want free honey?
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you guys are also interested in becoming beekeepers, urban beekeepers, we have some pointers in today's article.
Reading.
Disappearing bees, a sting on the environment. Urban beekeeping came to Taiwan's attention in 2014 when the W Hotel in Taipei put an enormous hive of 100,000 bees on its roof. The Taipei government has also been encouraging urban beekeeping. Here's how you can help. First, check if you need permission from City Hall. Most cities have strict laws about the size your property must be and the types of bees you can keep. Next, check with your neighbors. It makes no difference whether the bees are a danger to people or not. Having large colonies of stinging insects living next door could make people uncomfortable. Picking the right spot is also important. As long as the hives point toward the southeast, the bees will get working early in the day and will be able to keep cool on hot days. Finally, pick the right hive. You can use a hive made from stacked boxes. These are the most popular ones, but they also become quite heavy as the hive grows. Another type spreads to the sides and can fit in nicely with a garden, which the bees love. Happy bees will make more honey, but don't let that be your only motivation. Beekeeping isn't just a hobby, but a sweet way to help the planet.
All right, so urban beekeeping is here, and actually it's in places that I'm surprised to hear about.
Okay.
It says urban beekeeping came to Taiwan's attention in 2014 when the W Hotel in Taipei, put an enormous hive of 100,000 bees on its roof. So if you're ever down there by Taipei 101 or the City Hall in Taipei, if you hear that buzzing noise, it's coming from the top of the luxury W Hotel.
Interesting.
Where they have a beehive.
Yeah.
It's not even small. We know
enormous.
that because the adjective enormous is used here. Yes, enormous is sort of like gigantic, huge, massive, something like that. It's really, really big. All right. I mentioned the Taipei 101. That is an enormous building. Or I could say something like this. For example, our example sentence, Russia is an enormous country. It takes 8 hours just to fly across it. I think that's right. I was counting
Something like that, yeah.
last time I was going that way.
It has at least 3 time zones. So.
Oh, I think it's got 11.
Oh, actually, you might be right.
I think it might be something like that. Anyway, it's enormous, as is the Taipei 101 building, and as we've learned, as is the bee colony or the beehives on top of the W Hotel.
Right. Well, we might not just be seeing them on top of this hotel in the future. It says the Taipei government has also been encouraging urban beekeeping. So not just the hotel, lots of different people.
So how could you get into this? Or as our article says, here's how you can help. So what could you do if you would want to be an urban beekeeper?
Okay, well, the first thing you have to do here in the article, it says first, check if you need permission from City Hall.
Good point.
Now, permission is something that you have to get when you want to do something. When somebody gives you permission, they tell you it's okay to do this thing, or they're allowing you to do this thing. Now, this is something that you have to get from a person in authority, such as a parent, a teacher, or the government. Only someone in power of some sort can give you permission. Here's an example sentence. The children have to get permission from their parents if they want to go on the field trip.
Oh, okay. So you have to ask your parents, may I go? And they'll go, okay,
Yes.
you can go. So if you want to be a beekeeper, you shouldn't just start doing it.
No.
Go down to the city hall, talk to the people who know about this, because you don't want to break the law, or you don't want to go through all the trouble of getting it working, getting your bees going, and then have the police come and go, sorry, you can't do that. So what are some of the things they might look at before they give permission? It says most cities have strict laws about the size your property must be and the types of bees you can keep. So basically, they just want to make sure that you have enough space to have a bee colony and also make sure you're taking care of bees in the right way. I guess it's like if I wanted to have a farm and I have a bathroom and I want to put 3 cows in my bathroom, they would say, yeah, no, that's a terrible idea.
That's not a farm.
Too small, you can't do that. Or if I wanted to have a farm full of tigers, they might say, yeah, no, you can't do that either. Sometimes these laws are very strict, and that's probably for our safety. Strict is an adjective that basically means it's a tough law, or you're being tough with the law or with the rules, all right? A strict teacher will get you in trouble if you even whisper in class. Or if it's a very strict law, that means that you can't even break this law a little bit. If you do, you will be in big trouble. For example, when she was young, Janice's parents were very strict, and she had to go to bed by 9 p.m. That's pretty early. She couldn't stay up late.
Sounds great to me, though.
Well, now, now we're old and tired.
All right, well, you're not supposed to just check with the city and the government.
Oh, okay. Who else should I ask?
It says here, next, check with your neighbors.
Oh yeah, the people living near you, because bees might bite them, right? And some people are allergic to bees.
That's
you wouldn't want to get anyone in serious health problems because your bees accidentally bit one. And here it says it makes no difference whether the bees are a danger to people or not.
Right.
So there are other reasons as well. Bees can hurt people, but there are other reasons as well.
Right.
Now there we mentioned it makes no difference if or whether or something like that. This is our grammar point. It makes no difference if WH plus subject plus verb. So the it here, the it is super important. It plays another important role in this grammar pattern like the one we looked at yesterday. Here, it, this word means whether the bees are a danger to people or not. It makes no difference. This sentence could also be said in this way. Whether the bees are a danger to people or not, it makes no difference. However, since this subject is so long, whether the bees are a danger to, that is a very long subject. By saying this again and again, this becomes confusing. So that's why we change it to just the simple word it. And then we put the whether or if clause at the end. All right, here's another example, not about bees, not from our article. Whether Mark wants to stay over for the night makes no difference. It's easier or less confusing to say that sentence this way. It makes no difference whether Mark wants to stay over for the night. All right, so we put it at the end, the it at the front, nice and easy, much simpler for people to understand. Let's get back to our article. Now, as we mentioned, yes, some people can get sick or even go to the hospital if they get stung by a bee.
Right.
But there are other reasons to check with your neighbors, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you know the bees are dangerous to other people. It's just kind of like a politeness thing.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so here it says, having large colonies of stinging insects living next door could make people uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some people just don't want to be near
Next to bees.
Bees like that close where they live.
Exactly. There are bees everywhere, but you know, we just have this idea that bees are going to come and going to sting us, and it's just not a very good thing. It might make people feel kind of
Some people might
weird.
feel worried about that.
Right.
Sure.
All right. So We talked about these insects as stinging insects. That means they can sting you. Now, when a creature or a plant stings you, it makes a small hole in your skin so that it can put a poisonous substance in your body. Now, usually when a bug stings you, it hurts for a couple of days and then goes away. But
that's right.
Sometimes it can be worse.
That's true. Bees are known to sting people. Wasps, maybe a scorpion, right? Those scorpions. Now, this is different from another animal like a mosquito. We would say it bites you.
Yes.
A snake would bite you. A sting is a little bit different.
Right. The bite is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like the same thing.
It's almost the same thing. It's a different part of the body. The sting is usually on the tail. The bite would be with the mouth or the tooth parts or something like that. Do we have an example sentence for the verb sting?
It says, Malcolm was stung by a bee, and when it happened, he cried and ran to his mother.
Oh.
Hurts.
Yeah, he is 46 years old, so that's a little strange. No,
okay.
He was probably a little kid. I think I would have done the same thing. Maybe. Okay, so make sure it's okay with your city and you follow the rules. Make sure it's okay with the neighbors.
Right.
And here's another good tip. Picking the right spot is also important. Absolutely. These are animals and you're kind of building a farm. You wouldn't build a chicken farm just anywhere, right? You want to pick the right spot.
Right.
Here, spot is a noun and it's basically a place or a location. When you go to the park for a picnic, you want to find a nice spot.
Right.
You wouldn't put your blanket right next to the road or right next to where people are going by on bicycles really fast. That would not be a good spot or place. You want a nice spot away from people where it's quiet, maybe under a tree, something like that. That would be a perfect spot. For example, we could say something like this. We found the perfect spot from which to watch the parade. We could see all the action. We didn't have like a tall guy standing right in front of us. Hey, man.
That happens to me every time. Here's another example sentence. I don't think your bathroom is a great spot for your cattle farm.
No, that would not be a great spot for my cattle farm. No, I'll move it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to the article. What kind of spot would we be looking for?
Okay, well, this gives us a little bit of advice here. It says, as long as the hives point toward the southeast, the bees will get working early in the day and will be able to keep cool on hot days. So it's all about the direction of the sun, right?
It's about southeast. I think north is right towards the camera. Southeast, southeast. It's that away. It's going to be over there. All right.
All right, so we know that the sun rises in a certain direction, and at the hottest side of the hottest part of the day, they'll be away from the sun at that point.
Oh, I see. That's why.
Yeah, so we use the phrase as long as at the beginning of that sentence. We use this phrase to show that something will continue to happen if something else happens at the same time. So here, the bees will keep working if, or as long as, the hives point in a certain direction. So if the hives change direction, however, the bees might stop working.
See, I would never have known that.
I also wouldn't have known.
Looked for a place that maybe wasn't windy or something, but pointing the hive in the right direction. That's important. And here's something else that's important. The actual hive itself. It says, finally, pick the right hive. So the right structure, building, thing like that.
Okay, so we're going to talk about a couple of different hives here.
Okay.
It says you can use a hive made from stacked boxes.
So boxes on boxes on boxes on boxes.
That's right, and that's basically the explanation of stack. When you stack things like books or boxes, you put them on top of each other in a pile or a stack, that's the noun form, in a neat way. Now, if you kind of just throw things on top of each other, that's not really a stack.
It's a pile.
Right, so a stack is kind of, we know that it's a stack because it's neat. So when you are stacking, you're kind of making sure things line up really nicely.
So these are going up in height, all right? So these are the most important ones, the ones that are stacked boxes.
The most
popular. The most popular ones. These are the most popular ones. If you search online, you can probably find them easily, and they're probably easier to make yourself than the other ones. But it says, but they also become quite heavy as the hive grows. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those bees don't weigh a lot, but think of all that honey that might build up in there. And if you have 6 of them, the one on the bottom might start to crack and split.
Right.
You know, your stack will become unstable. All right. So here's another style of hive that might work better.
It says here, another type spreads to the sides and can fit in nicely with a garden, which the bees love. Of course they love.
I'm moving in tomorrow.
All right, in that sentence, we saw that this type of beehive spreads to the sides and fits in nicely with a garden. When something fits in with other things, this phrase, it's sort of similar to them in some way. So it kind of matches them or works well together with the other things. So here what we're saying is that the hive that spreads to the sides works well in a garden. It kind of matches with the garden, and they all work together really well. And of course the bees are going to like it too because they'd be close to the flowers. So it doesn't just fit in with the surroundings, it also fits in well with those bees. All right, well, happy hives means happy bees.
That's right. It's farming, right?
Yeah.
And we all know that happy cows make more milk and healthy, happy chickens make more eggs. Bees are just the same.
Exactly.
It says happy bees will make more honey. But don't let that be your only motivation. I'm betting if you have a few beehives on the roof of your apartment or in your backyard, selling honey is not your main goal, the main thing you want to do, or your main motivation, right? Your motivation, this noun, basically means what is driving you, what is pushing you, what is making you do something. When you get up from the sofa and walk into the kitchen and get a snack, your motivation is probably hunger. You're hungry. That's your motivation. Why do you get out of bed and go and do your job? Your motivation is to make money so that you can buy things and, live, basically. So it's the drive, it's the thing that's pushing you, it's the reason that you are doing something.
That's right.
All right, for example, we could say, Claudius had great motivation to study hard. He wanted to go to Harvard.
Ooh, a good school.
Good luck, Claudius.
All right. Well, we're not just doing it for the honey. That's not our only motivation. We're doing it to help the earth. And
Absolutely.
that's what we're saying here in the last sentence of today's article. It says, beekeeping isn't just a hobby, but a sweet way to help the planet.
You said sweet.
I did.
Because honey is sweet, and being sweet is being kind.
Nice little play on words there for the end of our article.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right, well, we are finished up with the article, but we're not going away just yet. We'll be right back with today's For You chat.
For You chat.
All right, our For You chat question today, how would you feel if your neighbor was keeping bees?
How would I feel? Probably jealous.
Okay.
Because I want to keep bees too, or something like that. Or I'm certainly curious. I would probably really, after I got over feeling jealous, why does he get to do that? I would probably go over and ask a lot of questions and be very interested in what they were doing. What about you?
I think I would feel great about it. Partly because of curiosity.
Sure.
I want to go and find out what it takes to keep bees, how I get to take care of my own bees.
Very interesting, yeah.
That sort of thing. I guess there would be a little bit of nerves. I mean, I've been stung by a bee, so I know what it feels like. And really, I was a kid, it wasn't that bad, sort of thing. But I would have a little bit of nervousness to get over. But I kind of really like bees, and I like what they do for the earth, and I love honey. So that nice little touch of, oh, don't feel nervous, here's a jar of honey would be a good treat.
Or you got a sting, here, put some honey on it, and put the rest of it on your toast.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I think I would get over my nervous feelings really quickly with all the benefits that these bring to me, my neighbor, and the earth. But
Absolutely.
What about you guys? How do you guys feel about bees? Would you feel the same as us? You guys can talk about that. We are all out of time. So for English for You, I'm Erin.
And I'm Mike.
Bye-bye.
Be good.
Disappearing bees, a sting on the environment. Urban beekeeping came to Taiwan's attention in 2014 when the W Hotel in Taipei put an enormous hive of 100,000 bees on its roof. The Taipei government has also been encouraging urban beekeeping. Here's how you can help. First, check if you need permission from City Hall. Most cities have strict laws about the size your property must be and the types of bees you can keep. Next, check with your neighbors. It makes no difference whether the bees are a danger to people or not. Having large colonies of stinging insects living next door could make people uncomfortable. Picking the right spot is also important. As long as the hives point toward the southeast, the bees will get working early in the day and will be able to keep cool on hot days. Finally, pick the right hive. You can use a hive made from stacked boxes. These are the most popular ones, but they also become quite heavy as the hive grows. Another type spreads to the sides and can fit in nicely with a garden, which the bees love. Happy bees will make more honey, but don't let that be your only motivation. Beekeeping isn't just a hobby, but a sweet way to help the planet.
Vocabulary Review.
Enormous. Paul's house is enormous. His family and 2 others could live there comfortably. Permission. Sasha needs permission from her parents to go on her school's weekend trip, so she'll ask them tonight. Strict. My mother went to a school with very strict rules. She would get punished for even small mistakes. Sting. Stephanie cried for an hour after getting stung by a giant hornet. It was very painful. Spot. This looks like the perfect spot to have a picnic. It's shady, dry, and flat. Motivation. Benny's motivation for writing his book is that he hopes to help people become happier.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net